space. Yo, peace to the divine, infinite consciousness. Yo, man, peace to the God body. No doubt. Yo, we just gonna jump right into it again like double dutch. You know what I'm saying? Waiting on the quantum singularity to show itself so we can be like, poof, there go the wormhole. And psh. Alright. So the sun's out, so getting a little bit of that, my element. You know what I mean? At this time of the season, it's a little lacking. They call it SAD, which is like seasonal affective disorder, and that just affects niggas. Affects niggas a lot. You know what I'm saying? When that sun get out there, they don't care how cold it is. Right now, it's like 3 below zero. It was 2 below zero, so the wind chill was like 17 below. And I'm out here, no glove on this bitch, but that sun is nice. Alright. Don't mean I ain't got to switch off and put the other one in my pocket though. Shit. Alright, so anyways. Yo, it's a new day, new time, man. You know what I mean? You have to tap into your own godhood. You have to save self. Because when you do that, you'll be able to link up with others who have saved themselves. And it'll be a lot easier for you to be able to deal in equality with one another. Because your knowledge borns equality just like theirs. Knowledge borns equality, okay? So we knowledge in what? Wisdom, something that's made manifest, that was here before us, before we got here. Before the physical manifestation. Because when you got here, you seen it here before you. So that's wisdom. And then your knowledge. This is how the universe is made up. Sometimes you got to bump your head, you know what I mean, to get that understanding. But that don't mean you don't get that understanding, but you get it. But now you know how to put it into order the way that you can utilize it. Think, then feel, then manifest the equality of that situation, which is the understanding, the cream of that knowledge and wisdom that you brought forth. So really, we're gonna have to tap into yourself, which is saving yourself, being your own self-savior. And that is, especially if you're young, it's changing up your eating habits and not eating the way that you was probably brought up by your parents and their parents. You know, usually those people or those parents in that time, if you're young now, they might around my age, they came up in hip-hop. So they will be understanding when it comes to that. Someone can be ignorant now, so don't get it twisted, you know what I mean? So I had to see what was up with this little, okay. It's crazy how the Most High Self work. Not even the Most High Self, but that was just a side thing. When was a little magic that mother tried to use against. Anyways, we you know what I'm saying, your moms or your pops, they should be understanding if you starting to, wanting to experience and know yourself on a broader and deeper level. And getting mathematics the way I did it, you know what I'm saying, you can be able to, it helps you easier to to look at things, you know what I mean, as far as like from a knowledge perspective, and then going all the way through your culture to show and prove your power, to be dealing equality, to show and prove that godhood. And yeah, you will be attacked on all levels and shit, you know what I mean, through your mental, your spiritual, and your physical. You'll be questioning your shit if you're not strong enough, you know what I mean? So you're gonna have to know your shit. That's not even like, yo, I'm not just running with this motherfuckers and shit, you know what I'm saying, as far as like, yo, I'm just this and I'm just that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do the knowledge, and then we can roll, we deal with equality. You know what I'm saying? And the time presents itself, then we can just, boom. We can just make knowledge born, which is save self. And so, yeah. This right here, you know what I mean? Just, doing the knowledge to the structures that was here over here in America and the real natives that was over here. These beautiful structures that we occupy, that now they're going to try to attach a form of rulership over them. We already broke that down as far as like dealing with the Tatari, you know what I mean, and how they was on the world maps, and that's just springing up and springing forth. You know what I mean? We know these structures is built over here in America and worldwide, China, just everywhere, even in the middle of Africa, in the Congo. So they say, this is what it is, you know what I mean? And so all these things that we've seen, that Europeans, that we call them Europeans or tall giants, that was predated before the so-called past 1,000 years, the beginning of year one, before a certain major event happened, pretty much put together that there was a wall around a certain area in the world that was given to bind them in. And then they got out and broke out of that wall, and they've been let loose onto the world for 1,000 years. So this is to catch you up to now. We are in the year 1019. 1,000 years is now. You're dealing with a narcissist, yo. A very superb psychopathic-minded narcissist. A group of entities from different forms. And the only way you're going to break them is if you just break that shit, that cycle within yourself. But you'll be able to pinpoint that shit. You got to damn near get stung to be able to pinpoint it when it come. And that's why we as a people had to go through the most horrific, spiritual upgrading that being and man has ever seen. Because one man is a man, because she's one man. You know what I'm saying? So forget about the separatism, but you are separate. But if you're dealing with the wisdom, you know what I mean? But we are. We ain't all this. We what we make who we is. And that's the beautiful fucking part. So embrace that shit. Get with you a man, a righteous one. But you got to purify yourself for it first. But anyhow, though, we dealing with this. We're dealing with these beings, man. They still in power, but they know the shit's coming to an end. I mean, we're dealing with giants. We're dealing with titans. We're dealing with, interdimensional. But now we're dealing with the flesh. Ones who is in the flesh. A lot of people caught up religiously. A lot of us is caught up so-called spiritually as well as getting sucked down the rabbit hole in the wrong direction. And, they're allowing certain things to rule them and move them in certain ways, but that's their spirit. But we all still will get an understanding. It ain't going to even matter. We all do all things right and exact. So, yeah. So you got to be careful when they pop up on you. You know what I mean? We got all these different things happening. We got we got the mud floods. We got all this shit, man. It's popping. You know what I'm saying? And it's in your city. So they give you certain shit to look at, like fucking R. Kelly and all of that shit. You know what I mean? And Soldier Boy and coming snapping and getting mad at these motherfuckers like, yo, nigga, you don't know. You talking about Drake, nigga? You mean the grassy motherfucker? No. But then you got all kind of shit. You got the football. You got all these shits, man. Pacquiao fights, the Floyds, all to take your ass away from what the fuck is going on. See, they don't want you to get out of America, G. You know what I'm saying? They building a wall for your ass to stay in this motherfucker. I'm talking about the black man, G. They want him to stay. He's the first and primary source over here on this plane. Without him, on their side, I'm talking about the side of the indigenous people, then the world will be doomed. Without his knowledge, without him knowing. And so that's why they keep you duped. So you don't know who the fuck he is. And thus, you keep fighting with yourself. But those who sitting and incarcerated, they done figured it out. They done figured it out. They done been at a point, they've been by themselves for a certain amount of time, and they understand what it is, what it takes, and some of those can't even get out. And by the time they do get out, they're just like, yo, I ain't even tripping, G. They ain't even thinking about money, they're thinking about spirit. And that's what we forgot about, is the spirit. Everybody, because it was a world culture. We got along and shit, we just use shit to just raise our vibrations and get knowledge and have fun and, compete, playing sports and shit like that, having fun, selling our differences, enlightening each other. This is what we do. We had different schools of thought and vibrations, and we embraced that, and we knew and we understood that. And those things will come back around, just like everything does. The style of dress, you know what I mean? My grandfather told me that shit. He went through all these damn decades, from 1905 to 93. He was like, yeah, man, shit, I remember 1920, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. You know what I'm saying? Got up to 9 tray. You know what I mean? You know what was up with men's society. So yeah, I ain't gonna hold you up too long, man. They holding that water. Keep our ass in. Subscribe.